So, the first season of The Last of Us is wrapped up, and oh my god. Remember how I said I was going to be an emotional wreck? Yeah. And not because how do I talk about this? Well, we knew Ashley Johnson was going to be in this episode. We knew she was playing Ellie's mom. But man, oh man, the emotions I felt during that scene were, oh my god, it kind of overwhelmed me. It's just so good to see the original Ellie, play Ellie's mom, funny enough, and just seeing this emotional connection that Ellie's mom, Anna, and Ellie have before she unfortunately dies. It's so, it's something I can't explain. It's like, I know this sounds like I'm overblowing this scene like a lot, but there's this kind of thing that happens between a mother and a child that it's very hard to describe. There's this connection they make the first time they meet eyes. And Ashley Johnson nailed it. I have seen parents say the first time you see your child, you do anything in the world to protect that kid. And we find out how Ellie's kind of immune. It's not 100% confirmed this is the case. But before Anna, gives birth, she gets bit by an infected because she was being chased by one. And before she gave birth, she got infected by, I guess you would say it was a stalker, because it seemed like it was kind of a stalker instead of a clicker or whatever. And this kind of makes sense how Ellie might be immune, because she was still attached to Anna through the umbilical cord. So maybe that's how she's immune, or I don't know. Maybe Ellie just she ate one too many freaking Chef Boyardee raviolis, and that's how she became immune to the freaking cordyceps. I don't know, but that whole part was so fucking it was everything I wanted to see. It was Anna when Marlene comes in and she's like, she's about to kill herself, and she's like, just take her. Her name is Ellie. Give her this. It's the Switchblade. The Switchblade we see Ellie have throughout the series. This is something that was in The Last of Us, comic book. In the comic book, by the way, you don't see Anna. She gets this letter from Ellie before supposedly Anna died, because she died a couple hours after Ellie was born. This kind of makes sense because I guess she got affected. So this was a nice little, I guess, kind of nod to that. It was just, this whole thing just was perfect. And the rest of the episode was good too. In fact, the rest of the episode, I would say, is perfect. Like, I know some people would, be so quick and hesitant to say something is perfect. But as a adaptation, this was the perfect adaptation. And I'm not just talking about the episode. I'm talking about the whole season. Perfect. Absolutely nailed everything from episode 1 all the way to episode 9, and that is crazy to think. Bella Ramsey, Pedro Pascal, I cannot applaud these people enough. They nailed the performance, even like the minor performances from Ashley Johnson, Troy Baker, Marlene's original voice actor, Tommy's original voice actor. Everyone who was in this show deserves a fucking applause, because they all did their part perfectly. Even some of the characters who couldn't talk, like freaking Sam, nailed it. Just nailed it. Henry's actor nailed it. Everyone, like I said, nailed it. It's exactly the perfect adaptation. I know this people, like I said, people are gonna be hesitant to say that. I'm telling you right now, as a hardcore Last of Us fan, I own the PS3 copy, I own a PS4 copy, I'm planning on buying a PS5 copy, I only have a digital fucking PlayStation 5, mind you. I have The Last of Us Part 2, I have freaking autograph from Troy Baker, I got freaking Ellie freaking, I guess you say wall scroll, right there above my computer. Can you kind of get the hint? I'm a bit of a fan, and I'm telling you right now, as a fan of this series, this is perfect. Yes, they made few changes, but you know what? I'm okay with those changes, because some of those changes were made because they have to compensate for the lack of gameplay, so they just have more, I guess you would say, a little bit of padding, but it still gets the same point across. Hell, like Ellie having the pun joke book. I don't think a lot of people actually know she has that in the game because that trophy apparently is not super common. So, yeah, I'm just saying this was perfect. Perfect adaptation. And the way this episode ends is just... you know what? I hesitate to say this because I feel like this is a little weird to say, but I think this episode might have nailed the ending better than the game. You know, the scene where Joel shoots those people, it's like watching this man just go through hell and back for someone who's not even really biologically his daughter. And he's doing everything in his power to get to her. And, of course, the fucking doctor's like, I can't let you take her. He just shoots him right in the head. Non-casualty. Nonchalantly. I got a sneaky suspicion that Abby might have been one of those people helping the doctor out. Or at least, will be, the way how she was written in part 2. I don't know. I can't tell you. It might be years until we get a season 2. And you know what? I'm okay at that. It's just like with Peacemaker. I'd rather them take their time, make sure they get the second season down right, than rush it out the door just because they need to meet some fucking deadlines. We got House of Dragons season 2 coming. I think we're good for content on HBO Max for a while, okay? And you got Velma season 2, so you have the shit you hate too. But yeah, this just like so much of this was right. And another thing I really liked is they honestly had to change a couple things when it comes to regarding Joel, mostly because in the game, Joel and Ellie kind of, what's the best way for me to put this? We get a picture with Sarah and Joel, and we don't have that in the show. But this moment where Joel and Ellie bond before, they're ambushed by the Fireflies, because it also happens a little different than it does in the game, but it still gets to the same point. I like how we actually have a little bit backstory about Joel. And a backstory I don't think we actually would see. And we find out Joel tried to kill himself. He was ready to go after Sarah died. This was like the day after Sarah died. He's just like, I'm just ready. I was ready to go. I wanted to go, but he flinched and missed. And it's like, it just shows that sometimes in life, when you feel like this is the end, you have nowhere to go, something in this world it'll just make you it keeps you around. And I'm glad Joel didn't kill himself. I love how even Ellie said that. She was like, I'm glad you didn't kill yourself. He's like, yeah, I'm kind of am too. And there was this line it's not in the game. And I'm sorry if I sound like I'm kind of struggling here, because this really got to me emotionally, this whole part. And that is, Ellie says, sounds like time heals all wounds. Joel looks at her and says, it wasn't time that healed. It wasn't time. And I was like, oh my God. Because I know that exact feeling. Where people tell you, oh, time heals all wounds. But it's like, it's not time that does it, man. It's life. Finding something to fight for. Finding something to fight for the next day. And I love how Joel even tries to tell that to Ellie, like there's before the okay part, which is infamous in the fan base. That's Joel's character in a nutshell. That's why his whole thing, Joel's autograph I have over here, it says "Endure, Survive," because that's Joel's motto basically, which is funny because he got it from the freaking comic book Ellie has in the game. I think it actually says it once in the show. I'm not 100% sure about that. So, yeah. Hollywood finally did it. They finally got a perfect live action adaptation. I'm not saying there hasn't been good adaptations, but there hasn't been that one I was like, yeah, this is perfect. Like, the Sonic movie they're pretty good for the most part. But those are kid films. I know some people will say, what about like Arcadia or freaking freaking Castlevania? Those are anime. I'm talking live action adaptations, the stuff you used to see like back in the 2000s, like the Resident Evil movies and shit, or the Halo TV show, which let's not talk about that. This is like the perfect one. This is the show that anyone were to ask me like, hey, I want to play the last, I want to listen, I want to hear the Last of Us story, but I don't want to play the games. I'm like, watch the HBO show because they nail it in every way. So yeah, this might be my Last of Us live action TV show talk here. So what do you guys think of episode 9? What do you think of the series as a whole? Because I'm saying it, man, I fucking love it. I'm definitely buying a Blu-ray copy when those become available. And I cannot wait for season 2. But I will wait because I'm a patient little boy. And I like having a good story instead of one being rushed out the door. So until next time, peace out. Have a good day. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that YouTube algorithm BS.